question became, you understand all this stuff. How do I do it? Let me tell you a little story about how I first started doing this. I developed a pattern. I was sitting in my office one day, a client was talking to me about something she had done. I can't remember what it was. But she'd really messed up in her mind. And she was going, I really shouldn't have done that. I really need not to do that. And, and I let her go on. I was being very patient with her. There was like a pause, and I turned to her and in rapport, I said, you're being awfully hard on yourself about that. And she agreed. She went, I got to stop being so hard on myself. Well, again, sometimes I'm slow, but I'm not stupid. And I said, well, that didn't work. And so I went away. I shut up after that. And I thought about that, and I thought about this self-criticism thing that we can easily fall into, when we confuse who we are with what we do. How can you interrupt that? So I went back and I thought, well, how does that happen? And what I came up with, for better or worse, is that it's that when we, there's an interesting thing that happens as we're being raised, is that we're total narcissists. Everything's about us, good or bad. So, mom, stubs her toes. You wonder, what did I do wrong? More seriously, dad dies. I must have done something wrong. Dad die, or somebody mistreats me or yells at me. My fault. We take on more than is our responsibility because we're narcissists. It's a developmental stage. We have I always think when I go back and help people change their personal history, I have them like invent an uncle who's whispering in their ear telling them the truth instead. Oh, by the way, he's upset about something else, not really you. Wouldn't that be nice? We all had like an aunt or uncle to correct their parents' mistakes. Oh, by the way, that's their problem, not yours. You didn't do anything. And what happens is that our heart closes to protect ourselves. And we have this experience of being disconnected from our true nature, which is, in my opinion, is love. So what it dawned on me is that the environment that doesn't entertain or support self-criticism is love. Well, that's way vague. What do you do with that? And I realized, and I'm not sure if I realized it right away or if I came up with this later, because it's hard for me to get the sequencing of these things. Even though I live in time, I'm not particularly linear in my thinking. It's dawned to me that love isn't a thing. Love is everything, nothing. It's not a thing. That love is in the living of it. It's a practice. Love occurs in the practice of it, in physical manifestation. I mean, let's face it, we're love machines trying to remember who we are. Our job is to bring love into physical manifestation as best as we can. Our play. Well, not even a job, it's our play. So, since love is a practice, the question is, what to love? So what I came up with is, well, I need to love, and I did a lot of Gestalt therapy training and stuff. And people understand the concept of parts. Anybody not understand the concept of different parts of ourselves? If somebody says, let's go to the movies, part of me feels like, and part of me feels like staying home watching the ball game. Is to love the part of yourself that's beating you up. So I was very pleased with myself for coming up with this. So next week when she comes in and she starts beating herself up. And I had a lot of rapport with her. We worked for a while. I said, wanted to try something. She said, sure. So I created a visualization in which I had her imagine, and by the way, I'm going to offer this visualization to you. You can change it, adapt it, do it in any form you want to that works better for you. Try this one on. Notice if it works. In which I had her love the part of her, put the part of her that had been beating her up, in front of her and love the part of her. And she started doing it. I was leading her through, and she starts going, this? I knew something was up. I had great sensory acuity. So I stopped and I said, what's going on? She says, I can't love that part. I hate that part of you. I went, oh, uh-oh. But I was quick this time. I wasn't slow. And I went, well, how do you feel about the part of you that hates the part of you that's beating you up? Well, so I don't love it, but I'm okay with that. So I had to put that part in front of her and love that part of her, absorb it back in. By the way, whenever you split yourself off to do a practice, always end by bringing it back in. We don't want you walking around split because we already are split too much. We need to get more integrated. And then she could love the part of her that's beating her up. And then she went right into thinking about what she could do differently in the future, instead of beating herself up about the mistakes she made. And I went, ooh. So everybody walked in and got to do that. And this worked very well with emotions as they arose.